My job was a B-25 pilot.
Okay.
One of the great difficulties that we had at that particular time was getting our crews. I had flown over 500 hours in a B-25 before I got a complement of crews. I had a co-pilot about 5 months after I had finished, and we would just take turns flying with one another to get pilot time. And many of the time I had many more hours in the airplane than my record shows. But one of the difficulties that was that we needed a complement of 6 men in a bomber. It's the bombers that we flew: tail gunner, radio operator, an engineer, and these men carried on other duties. By not having all of the complement completed, it was quite difficult.
Harold, Tuskegee, that was in Alabama.
Yes, sir.
And so you were sent there. That's a southern state.
That's a southern state.
How'd that make you feel?
Well, I tell you, being from an all-black town in Louisiana, I really didn't know what segregation was. I'm from a black town, and there was no white people there. And I really didn't know what segregation was, and so I fitted in fairly decently, but some of the guys from northern states didn't.
So you saw the adjustments that those gentlemen had to make.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Can you tell us one of your experiences as a fireman? You were on the cleanup crew.
Yes.
What can you give us an example of one of your jobs?
The very worst thing I ever went to on a Sunday night, May the 19th, 1946, B-25 that Lou Hill flew, not the same one he flew, went down with about 10, 11 people on it. And they came and woke us up on that Sunday night. It was raining so hard you couldn't see. And we had to go out and look for this airplane in all that rain. But after some consideration, there was one survivor, and they talked to him, and he said wasn't no use to go look because there wasn't nothing left of it. And that kept us. That's the worst thing I ever saw in my life. We went out the next morning. There was nothing left of it.
Not much work to do.
Nope, not much work to do.
Lewis, what in World War II? Can you tell me where you were stationed at once you entered the war?
My experience in the military goes back prior to Pearl Harbor. I had signed up to go into the Air Corps, but they drafted me from Indianapolis anyway, and I was assigned to the Quartermaster Corps. I went to Fort Warren, Wyoming from Indianapolis, 1st of October in 1941, and I never shall forget Pearl Harbor. And I had applied for Officers Candidate School at that time. In February of 1942, I was sent to Officers Candidate School in Camp Lee, Virginia at that particular time, graduating as a second lieutenant in May 23rd, 1942. It wasn't until a little over about a year later, the first part of May, that I entered the Air Corps.
So where did you end up flying then during the war?
I went from Tuskegee, we went to Selfridge Field, Michigan. But at that